how to reduce stress. I'm going to give you 3 methods. And this is so important and so heartbreaking. But, you know, when you have a loved one who you see is imploding due to stress, and you see them suffering, and you know how to help them, but you can't. And you know what I'm talking about because you're too close to someone. They see you as their dad, or their husband, or their kid. Family is the hardest type of person to influence. But yet they'll watch a video or take advice from someone else who has no connection to them, because somehow they connect. So I'm hoping that this will connect with someone so that you can not suffer the way I see others suffer. It's heartbreaking. You know, if you have a child who is having a difficult time adulting, as they say, and you know, God, you're in the prime of your life. You could do this. I have the power to help you. And yet they won't listen. And that's what sparked off this video. That's what gave me the idea for the video. The biggest trouble is that when you get stressed, your body, particularly there's a gland in your body called an adrenal gland that will secrete cortisol. And cortisol does a number of bad things when it's chronic. And that is that it will allow your body to retain fat and store fat. And that makes it difficult to lose weight for a tremendous amount of people. The other thing is that it keeps you awake at night, which prevents you from sleeping well, getting that deep REM sleep. And in medicine, they call this sympathetic dominance, where your body is always in a fight or flight syndrome. There's also adrenal gland fatigue that occurs. And it's just heartbreaking to see. So here are 3 solutions that I think would very likely work for you, because they've simply worked for me and I've figured it out, and I'm here to help you. The first method is breathing deeply on a daily basis. So if a person is having a lot of stress, anxiety, depression, breathing is free. It doesn't cost you anything. Now how to do it, and this is the best way to do it, is to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth as deeply as humanly you can. And the way I describe this to patients is act as if you were going to dive into a deep pool of water and you were going to try to stay in there as long as you possibly could. What would your last breath be like? It would be deep. You would inhale a lot of air. So like that. Now you're going to inhale deeply through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And you're going to do it in a slow way. You're not hyperventilating. You're not, it's not like that. So many people, they go, well, I don't want to hyperventilate. You're not hyperventilating. You're breathing deeply in a slow, controlled manner. The benefit of doing it through your nose is that it will stimulate something called nitric oxide, which will help dilate and relax your blood vessels. And this helps with things like blood pressure. It helps with things like ED. It helps with sympathetic dominance. It's very, very beneficial. So anytime you're having a difficult time controlling your emotions, anytime you're having a difficult time with anxiety and things, just take 5 minutes to do deep breathing. Now the complaint is, well, what am I supposed to do? Breathe all day? No, I'm not asking you to do that. I'm asking you to do it when you're having a lot of stress. You could do it 1 time a day on a regular basis, and that can have a tremendous effect on your body long term, because then your body starts to regulate itself. You get more balance between the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system, and it works quite well. Hey, what's up? The second thing to do is to get some books on mental health.
There are a number of books that have helped me. I'll tell you what they are. I'll put links down below, but you can find any book that resonates with you and can connect with you. And that's really what it boils down to, is do you buy into the idea that this author can help you? Let me just get this straight here. There we go. The first book, and it's a very old book, and if you watch my channel, you'll hear of this before, is Dale Carnegie's How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. This is one of the most practical, down-to-earth books that you could buy on the market. It literally gives you, each chapter, it literally gives you ideas of what you can actively do to control your anxiety, to control your emotions, and to control your stress levels. Let me give you just one example, is if you're having trouble just making a decision on things, what you do is you take out a blank sheet of paper and you write down a line in the middle of it and put pros and cons of your decision. And you just sit there and think about, what are the benefits of this decision I want to make? What are the cons? And you write everything down. You just let your brain explode on the paper. And then you put this piece of paper away for just a couple days. Don't make a decision right away. There's no law that says you have to make an absolute life and death decision right this second, except life and death situations this second. But put that piece of paper away. Then read the paper back 2 or 3 days later. You'd be shocked at how the things that you're emotional about and things that you value, you can actually see the problems in your line of reasoning. It's almost like being your own therapist. It's fantastic. So Dale Carnegie's book, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, fantastic book. Now, these books are a little bit more involved, these next ones. The first would be any Tony Robbins book. And I know Tony Robbins is a bigger than life guy, but he's got in the beginning of his work, when he first started, he would talk about neuro-linguistic programming and how do you talk to yourself. And so many people have negative talk, and you find that when you read this stuff, you start to discover, holy crap, I do that. If something bad happens, so many people are like, oh God, I'm such a loser. Why am I so like this? Why do I always make bad decisions? Why can't I find a good guy? Why can't I find a normal girl that isn't crazy? Why can't I do this? I'm such a bad person. And you talk to yourself this way and you start realizing that you're your own worst enemy. And by learning how to talk to yourself in a certain way can change your life and your stress levels. Learning your physiology, your body postures, how you think. It's a little bit more involved, neuro-linguistic programming, but if you can learn how to control your own brain, you can control your own life. And it's not a Tony Robbins thing. I know he's high energy and he's not for everyone, but his original books were probably the best, I thought. And then, once you have a good system, what do? You have to keep making money, and you keep making new books, and you keep reinventing the wheel, but I think his original stuff was the best. The third book, and this is more of once you've read it, you'll understand what it takes to be successful in the sense of not having as much anxiety and depression and stress, is a book by Dennis Prager. And he has a book called Happiness is a Serious Problem. And this is more of an enlightening book. This is more of a thought-provoking book. One that, once you read it, he's such a practical guy and explains things in such a way that it's not like he's against one thing and for another. But a good example would be, in the later part of his book, he talks about the benefits of having a faith, a religion. And the cynical person will go, well, whatever religion you go to, that means you're against another religion. Or if I believe in this deity, I must not believe in that deity and deny that person's oversight over me. And whatever religion you're part of, there's another religion that says you're going to go to a bad place because you don't believe in their religion. And how the religions, when they're on earth, tend to become a little bit more of a problem. But he talks about how just having a faith in something, anything, is more beneficial because it gives you hope. What a terrible life it would be if we were just ants that could be stepped on and had no meaning. And so he talks about how having a religion, a religious belief, can have a powerful effect. Oh, there's UPS. I hope they're for me. Anyway, don't get distracted. But having a religious belief system in place, whatever religion it is, leads to more happiness than not. Now, it doesn't mean if you're an atheist, you need to go join the local Scientology group or whatever, but it's interesting that how he explains it. It's not that he's against not having a religion. He just says that there's some benefits to it, that you will be happier and have a better life. He talks about being in love with someone, sharing things with people, being connected with people. And I'll tell you, one of the most popular, growing topics on YouTube is how people just want to be alone and don't want to be married. You know how many people, I don't even know what it's called. It's called men going their own way or something like that. Or women just saying, I don't need a man. And how people aren't getting married anymore and people aren't connecting anymore. People don't want to be with the opposite sex. Women think men only want one thing. Men think women only want one thing. Neither of them can figure out how to find a good one. But he talks also about how to have a relationship and how to be more understanding and empathetic. And it's just kind of fascinating stuff. The third one, I don't think you'll like, but it's kind of the truth. And this is if you're having difficulty with anxiety, stress, is you got to exercise on a daily basis. This has so many benefits. It sucks that it has so many benefits, because if medicine could wrap this one up in a pill, trust me, they would sell it. But exercise does so many things. First of all, it decreases cortisol levels if you do it right. And what does that mean? That means that simply going for a walk. Now today it's a super misty day. It's not a great day in California. It's not sunny 72. It's kind of rainy, but it's not really coming down like a tornado, like a torrential rain. But if you were to just go for a walk, what's called zone 2, some people call it zone 2 training. And what that essentially means is you're doing cardiovascular exercise, but not super hard. You're just walking or riding a bike or on a treadmill enough that you can continue to talk, but you're a little bit out of breath. And what this does is it reduces the amount of cortisol that I was talking about in the beginning of the video. It reduces the cortisol levels in your body, helps you lose body fat. It stimulates happy hormones. And it's just nice sometimes to be outside. Many people are afraid of being outside because they're afraid of skin cancer, or they're afraid of getting mugged, or they're afraid of people. And I understand that. But you could dance inside your house. You could walk around inside your house. You could do jumping jacks. You could jump rope inside your house. There's many things that you could do that are called zone 2 cardiovascular training. But it could be described as simply as going for a nice walk outside for a period of time. So getting back to the beginning of the video, I hope that this helps someone reduce their stress, reduce their anxiety. And we're only on this physical planet once. May want to enjoy a little bit of it, may want to see some of it. And it's frustrating when you see someone who isn't enjoying life, yet they're at the prime of their life. And it's so simple to fix on paper. but it's so hard to influence people. And sometimes it's so hard to influence people, and the people that are the ones that you love the most.